I'm here at Children's National Medical Center in Washington, D.C., visiting with some kids being treated here all the time for asthma and other breathing problems. Often these illnesses are aggravated by air pollution, pollution from the same sources that release carbon and contribute to climate change. And for the sake of all our kids, we've got to do more to reduce it.
Yeah, folks, welcome back. I got a Gimme 5 coming up on this, so make sure you don't miss that. Here the president with his weekly radio address, or used to be radio address, weekly address, he talking about the kids, and he went on to mention the kids and the children as he pushes his agenda. And if you go back through history, you'll see that's been done a lot. Rejoining us on the panel is Ron Christie and John Gizzi. And let me start with you, Ron. Today, the Obama administration taking aim at the coal industry, mandating a 30% cut in carbon emissions by the year 2030 at fossil fuel burning power plants. Hopefully this could be fought in the courts, although the Supreme Court has weighed in on this. But, you know, invoking the children, this is from the man who said if your kid has an asthma attack, take him to the hospital and get a breathalyzer.
Well, again, this administration has found every opportunity in the past 6 years or so to circumvent not only the will of the people, but the American Congress who represent them. Here's a plan that I agree with John Boehner 100%. This is nuts. You are going to have the President of the United States impose a plan to reduce carbon emission, while, of course, we recognize that we get 40% of our energy in the United States from coal. So you're going to increase the amount of electricity prices of the American people with no proven change to deal with the climate? I think this is insane.
It is, John. No surprise here. What's the reaction been up there?
Well, as a not so young political reporter, I can say that President Obama has completed the change of West Virginia from a solidly Democratic to a Republican state and ensured the election of Shelley Moore Capito as that state's first Republican senator since 1958. War on coal is a phrase that's heard quite often when one goes through West Virginia, a big coal mining state, and people there believe the president wants nothing more than to replace coal as a source of energy with another. And the whole called Green Revolution is taking as its first victim the mountaineer state. Now, this will have a political impact in Ohio and Kentucky and other coal mining states as well. And certainly we're going to hear from members of Congress from those respective states. We'll also hear from the remaining Democrats. I'm sure that Congressman Nick Joe Ray Hall, the last Democrat in West Virginia, in their House delegation, will have something to say on it. He's got a very difficult re-election.
And Ron, this is, you know, anybody who listened to this man campaigning as senator for president the first time around said, by definition, my policies on energy will make electric rates skyrocket. He said you'll never be able to build another coal plant, open up a new one. That's not going to happen anymore. They're going to go out of business. So, you know, he's just doing what he said he would do.
No, and this is a refreshing change from this President of the United States. That seems like all the promises he's made, he's broken. This is one he's kept. He said he was going to raise our prices, and they were going to explode, and they were going to skyrocket, and they're going to do just that. And the estimate that I heard from the Chamber of Commerce today, Steve, is this could cause a $50 billion disruption to the American economy. All for what? Just so the president can try to cement his legacy? This has nothing to do about bringing energy production online or trying to find new alternative sources of energy. It's about his legacy, his legacy.
Yeah, absolutely. And John, you know, here we are again, one more time, executive order, basically. I mean, the EPA, you know, and they did go to court, but still in all, this can't be done with Congress, and it doesn't matter to this administration. Congress doesn't want it, which means the people don't want it. He knows what's best, and he's going to do it.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see Congress react to that. You know, executive orders can be upended by acts of Congress, and it would not surprise me to see joint action in Congress. I'd say in the House, just about every Republican and perhaps 30 to 50 Democrats will join in undoing what the president did with the stroke of a pen. Whether it has any life in the Senate remains to be seen.
Yeah, well, Ron, we got less than a minute. If I were a betting man, I would say as long as Harry Reid's there and Obama pulls his strings, it'll never see the light of day, no matter what the House does.
That's why I'm not going to bet with you, my friend. I think that's exactly right. And unfortunately, as John very well pointed out, I mean, the will of the American people is being circumvented, and I think they're going to be probably, I'd say, 40 to 50 Democrats who would support such a measure in the House. So stay tuned. This is far from over.
Yeah, it is. All right, gentlemen, we'll speak to you a little bit later. Always great to talk to both of you. We're talking about John Gizzi, Newsmax Washington, D.C. correspondent, and Ron Christie, of course, read him at the Daily Beast, and also former assistant to George W. Bush and to Dick Cheney. And we're always privileged to have both of them here with us. Now, you know we're coming back, and you know what's coming up next is going to be an interview you're not going to want to miss. But right now, before we get to that, today's America's Moment is going to take a look at the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So stay tuned.
January 15th, 1929 was a chilly day in Atlanta, Georgia, when a family gathered to welcome into this world a new life, and with it, a new hope for America. 2 years after his birth, his father, Michael King, changed his name to Martin Luther King, and then changed his son's name to Martin Luther King Jr. Throughout his 39 years, he instilled in Americans a new spirit of justice and freedom based on equality instead of status, and character instead of race. He waged a nonviolent war on racial segregation, with appearances that radiated with an energy that transcended all races, all faiths, and people of all ages, with words that still resonate today.
I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
He spoke to us of his dreams and his beliefs that justice too long delayed is justice denied. You're watching An American Moment on Newsmax TV.